Sarojini Naidu's poem To a Buddha Seated on a Lotus contrasts the peace and perfection of the Buddha with the mutability and sorrow of human life. In the first stanza is described the idol of Lord Buddha, which the poetess had seen recently, and a question is asked. Lord Buddha is shown in the idol seated cross-legged on a lotus which forms his throne. His eyes are half closed in prayer and his hands are uplifted as if blessing his devotees. There is a look of deep bliss, profound exaltation on his face as if he has attained that mysterious oneness with the divine, which has been the quest of sages, rishis, and munis in all countries. Wordsworth speaks of this mystic experience in his Tintanabe and the Prelude. It is a feeling of bliss possible for him who goes to nature in a mood of wise passivity and then can become one with the soul of all the world, and then he can seep into the heart of things. All desire this mystic oneness, but few can attain it. Lord Buddha was one of those few, and the look of bliss on his face results from the mystic experience of oneness with the divine. The poetess calls Lord Buddha unchangeable and perfect because he has achieved eternal peace and freedom from the cycle of birth and death. He has attained moksha or nirvana, which is the highest and ultimate aim of human life according to Buddhist philosophy. The poetess asks Lord Buddha the secret of the mystic bliss which he has attained, for the soul of all hungers for that bliss. She wants to know the way in which he attained it. The spiritual peace which he has attained is beyond the perception of man, something separated and above the world of men. It is something much higher and nobler than anything that can ever exist in this world. How did he attain it, asks the poetess, for her soul also, as also that of her fellow mortals, hungers for it. In the second stanza, the poetess contrasts the fever and fret of the human condition with the peace and tranquility expressed by the idol of Lord Buddha. Human life is full of toil, noise, and bustle, and the lot of helpless man is ever changing. One grief gives way to another, and thus human life becomes a chain of sorrows continuing from the past into the future. There is a constant succession of sorrows. They work hard to attain their goals but are constantly defeated despite their strenuous efforts. Their hopes do not come to flowering and their efforts do never fruit. They are never able to attain that perfect peace and tranquility, that perfect bliss which is expressed by the face of Lord Buddha as he sits on his lotus throne. Human beings also desire that bliss, that spiritual peace, but all their efforts to attain it are futile and vain. It always remains beyond their reach. Human beings always try to attain spiritual peace, that union with the divine, which Lord Buddha has attained, but the effort is too much for them. Soon their faith weakens, their feet get tired, and so they fail. But nothing can control or overcome their desire for the attainment of the divine. Despite their failure, they continue to yearn for the mystic bliss which results from an experience of oneness or union with the divine. This heavenward hunger of the human soul always persists. This end, the union with the divine, always remains beyond the reach of men, but they are always tempted to continue their efforts. They are like thirsty travelers in desert who are beguiled by a mirage and follow it with their ever-thirsty souls. The divine always seems to call them from afar. Indeed, human life on this earth is nothing but a short period of separation from the infinite. That is why the urge for union is so strong in the human soul. The poetess, in the end, again repeats her question. She again asks Lord Buddha to tell her the way which leads to salvation or nirvana or moksha, which he has attained and for which all humanity hungers.